Hi there, I'm Bridget Reed. I'm a district peer mentor teacher, work in professional learning and development. Welcome to the new school year, Brevard Public Schools and the new Teacher Academy. I'm really excited for this year. Although I truly wish I was in person, I could make eye contact with you, get to know your names, some faces with your names, hear about your experiences. I guess this is what we have to do right now, but we're going to make the most of it. And everything I'm going to be talking about right now, I've talked about in person for many years, and it's through a culmination of experiences to make sure you are setting your year up on the right foot. So if you are a brand new teacher, I'm excited. I know there's probably some nerves out there. If you are new to Brevard County from another county or out of state, I'm so excited to hear about your experiences, get to know you through the year, and everything you can bring to Brevard County to make us one of the best counties there are. So today's presentation is going to be focusing on who's who at the district level, because it's always different in different places, where to find things on our websites, and lastly, ethics, professional ethics, not the ethics that you'll have in the orientation, but the real street ethics to make sure that you're all in a good place. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the mission statement. Every county, every state, every school district has their own. Ours is to serve every student with excellence as the standard. Now, if you and I were in person right now, the way I would have us do this is I would have us yell it out so it really gets embedded in your brain. It's so important to remember it's every student. Every student gets excellence as the standard. Holding up those expectations for every student. Remembering that it's not just the cute little kid in the front row that gets the excellence. It can be even the challenging, has to be even the challenging students. It's every student. So remember our mission statement as we go through the school year and as we go through today's training. You may have already seen Dr. Mullins. This is Dr. Mark Mullins. He's our superintendent. And I think it's important to know the who's who. One of the things that's a little different about Brevard County compared to other counties in our state is we're one of the few that have our superintendent appointed. He's not elected. This is a big difference for us because we don't have to worry about the campaign cycles. Dr. Mullins is all about what is best for the students. He was trained as a teacher, worked as a principal, has been at different district level administrative positions, so he really gets the big picture, but he's been in the trenches. And I like, and all of us really like, that we don't have to worry about the campaign. He's appointed, and his boss are the school board members. He is always worried and concentrating on what's best for the students. So that's what's a little different with our school district compared to the majority of Florida. Like I said, Dr. Mullins answers to the school board. We answer to Dr. Mullins. Our school board is elected. You see, we have 5 members, and 2 of our members are going to be up for re-election this fall. Tina Deskovich, who's on the bottom left with the red top, and then Matt Susan, who is behind Dr. Mullins with the red tie. Okay, now I would like you to take out your New Teacher Academy handbook, and we're going to take some time right now to look to see who your school's school board member is, and then also your residential school board member. Just important to know. So you're going to open it up, and you're going to find a map. And I just want you to spend a few moments right now looking up to take a look where your school is, because you may not live near your school, so you don't know who exactly your school board member is. And then I want you to spend a few minutes taking a look at who your residential school board member is. So we'll just spend a few moments here doing that, and we'll come back. Okay, now that you've determined who your school board member is and your residential, just important information to have. You want to have a face with a name while the person's walking into your school. These school board members are very, very interested in what's happening in the schools, and they truly do want to hear positive, impactful information that they could possibly help with or they can hear about that other schools may use as well. So just keep them in mind while they're walking through your school. Okay, again, I told you that Dr. Mullins answered to the school board and we answered to Dr. Mullins. Again, there are people in between Dr. Mullins and ourselves as teachers, directors, assistant superintendents, and the two that you will see the most in your schools will be Jane Klein, who's to the left. She's the assistant superintendent for elementary school programs. Then we also have Stephanie Sullivan, who is on your right, and she is the assistant superintendent for secondary programs. Jane Klein, Stephanie Sullivan. They are both trained as teachers. They were principals. They are in the arm of BPS's Leading and Learning. They have been where you have been where you're going to be. They have all had teaching experience. They've all had first day of school experience. They love working with new teachers. When you see them walking down your hallway, reach out to them. They love talking to teachers. Teachers are where we know it's at in impacting students. Don't be afraid to say hi to them. All right, so now we're going to move on where to find information. Sometimes it's difficult to find it on our school district website. We have a lot of information. We know that. The easiest way I have found to find our contract, our teaching contract, is on the BFT's homepage. BFT stands for Brevard Federation of Teachers. You don't have to be a union member to take a look at our contract either. Take a look at it right on the front page. You're signing it. You're saying you're going to do the information in there. You might as well read it. There's such great information in there on sick days, benefits, pay. Check it out when you get a chance. Of course, we don't have the 2021 contract yet. That's okay. Most of the very important information that you need to know is in that current contract right there. Check it out. Next, we have where to find our payroll information. You may have gotten some of this information when you were working with your mentor during your SOS day. If you have not had a chance to have an SOS day with your mentor, this is where you're going to find payroll. You will be going to Brevard Public Schools, brevardschools.org, and you will go to where it says My Staff. Click on that. Then go down to where it's My Information Center, MIC we call it. To log in the first time, you'll have to get a PIN. Then you will find where it says Payroll. This is where you're going to find your pay stubs. This is also where you're going to find sick day transactions. All this will be located in this area. So just get used to where, to find this information. This is also where you can update your address and telephone number as well. Now we're going to go on to where is our evaluation, where to find that information. That is going to be housed in what we call ProGo. To get to ProGo, we go through the Launchpad. Now I know all of this is going to sound super overwhelming and confusing. You'll get used to it, I promise you. For this one, you're going to go to our website, brevardschools.org, click on Launchpad. Launchpad, you're going to sign in through your regular sign in through BPS, and then you are going to come to this page, signing in, and then you'll have Launchpad. This is where everything is housed. Could be the attendance. ProGo is what we're going to be looking at. We have all the different apps here for Google, Office. It's all housed on Launchpad. Blackboard, where you're going to take continuing education, and any sort of endorsement class will be housed on this platform. Progo, though, is where we have orientation and our evaluation. Now, to get to that, you see evaluation right there, and click on this. Again, not the super user-friendly site ever. Most counties in Florida do use this. So if you've come from another county in Florida, you probably will feel very comfortable with it. If you're brand new and you are, again, feeling a little overwhelmed, you're in good company. You will get it, I promise you. Your mentors, your colleagues, your admin, they're all there to help you with this. You will get it, I promise you. But this is where we're going to have the evaluation and orientation. Transcripts, different resources will be housed here. And you will always get an email if you have to have something done on time. Here's the orientation. Now, when you go through this, you're going to see different videos that you need to get done within the first week or two of school. I usually try to get them knocked out during pre-plan. A tip for it, the green check. If you don't see a green check in front of it, that means you did not complete it. So you want to make sure that you see that green check. You may have done something as simple as not pressing the submit button. That's all you have to do. Just make sure all of those are checked. Professional ethics. You will complete this training during your online orientation. Pay attention to it. Most of the stuff there is to keep you on the straight and narrow and out of hot water. Just focus on that one. All right, but what I'm going to talk about for the remainder of the time is going to be, street smart things your mom would tell you. And what we're going to look at, especially, just bullet points, will be the teaching accounting, profession accountability, what to wear, social media, email protocol, school hierarchy, teacher's lounge, verbal temptations. So we're going to go ahead and start with teacher accountability. And this people is just a what is. We are held to a different level of accountability than the majority of professions out there. Again, it's a what is. It's very important to know this though. So while you're out and about in public, be aware of language used. Public, social media, school. Now, if we were face to face, I would tell you, I'd be telling you some stories of some of the teachers I've worked with in the past and how they got into a little bit of hot water. Here's an example of language used. I had a teacher I was working with who was out downtown Melbourne, and he was in a booth in a restaurant that's very popular and didn't realize that the booth behind him was a family of a student he taught. He went on a profanity-laced, loud rant. The family heard it. Now, is it something he can get fired over? No. He's more than, has all the rights if that's what he wants to do. However, because we're held at a different accountability level in the profession, his credibility was shaken. Parents have a tendency to talk. Students have a tendency to talk. Let's face it, we all have a tendency to talk. So the parents being shocked by his behavior spread the word. Again, not fireable, but the credibility for him went down. Be aware of your surroundings. Know where you are. Could be a parent, a family, an administrator. Someone could always be around. FERPA rules, very important that you remember. You cannot talk about students to parents, to other students. Be aware of even with colleagues. Someone could always be listening. It could be tempting in a hallway to yell to another teacher, "Oh, you're not going to believe Johnny today." FERPA rule. Be aware of parents. Sometimes this happens when we're feeling the most vulnerable. Example, you are a first grade teacher and you have your class project going where you're having parents come in, they're helping out, they're very involved in the centers, and you have a parent that comes up to you and says, wow, you have Johnny this year. Ooh, how's Johnny doing? And you say, well, and you roll your eyes, boom, FERPA rules. Be aware how quickly a parent can pull you in and that you may be violating another student's rights. It can happen at car pickup line, drop off, open house. Just be aware and prepared. All you have to simply say is, without even saying anything about Johnny, just saying, we're having a great year. In your mind, you may be thinking, this is the worst year of my life. You fake it till you make it. You just say, we're having a great year. Everything's great. That's that. So just be aware of FERPA rules. Another student may say something to you. Johnny's got some problems at home right now, and I just want you to be aware of it. You just simply say thank you. You don't engage because we don't want to hurt Johnny's rights, and then you can go to the guidance counselor or an administrator afterwards, but you're not going to talk to another student about a student. So just be aware of those situations that might arise. Alcohol, non-prescription drug consumption. Clearly, we just can't sit and drink at school, so just know that. But be aware outside of school what's going on with alcohol. We're allowed to have alcohol. There's no rule or anything that says you can't. Be aware though, however, who is watching. If you are in a restaurant/bar that is near the school where you teach, I guarantee you there are parents in there who are watching from a corner. Okay, Mrs. Reed had 2 drinks. Ooh, she just ordered a 3rd. Am I allowed to? I certainly am. However, just know that where the credibility is. Just be aware of who's around you. Now, non-prescription drugs is a different story. I really do want to talk a little bit about CBD oil. We have a lot of people who are using that. They've been told by the distillery that THC is not in the product. However, we have had instances in the past where a teacher had carpal tunnel syndrome. Here would be one example. A teacher had carpal tunnel syndrome. She was using CBD oil on that to alleviate the pain and the inflammation, even told by her doctor to check it out. She tripped at school, and when an injury at school happens, you go directly to get a drug test. It's just part of the liability. Because we take federal dollars, we are not allowed, even if Florida allows recreational use of marijuana, we are not allowed, because it's against federal law, to have THC in our system. So this teacher, who has done really well with us for BPS, was terminated because she had THC in her system from the CBD oil that she was told there was no THC in it. So be aware of this, people. Just know, you go out to Colorado skiing, it's legal in Colorado to take some gummies. It's against federal law for us to have it in our system. So just know that with non-prescription drug consumption. Another thing just to be aware of. Gossip. Anytime there are groups of people, there's going to be gossip. Don't get sucked in. You may find at your school there's a negative Nelly. They're always looking for that energy to pull in with gossip. Watch it with parents, students. You cannot talk about a student with other students. There could be a temptation for that. You've got to stay professional. Clothing, even out on the town. So we are going to have a section about what to wear for school, but just also be aware we're held to a different level of accountability, that you could be seen out with an outfit that you thought, you looked in the mirror and like, whew, I look good. Well, it may reflect on you professionally. I worked with a teacher who wore a mini skirt, the boots above the knees, a very low cut tank top. Is she allowed to do that? She certainly is. However, where she went, there were students there. She was teaching high school. They took pictures of her, sent it around. They did get in trouble. It was off hours. However, her credibility was damaged. Not fireable, just it lowers it in the students and the parents' mind. So just be aware when you're putting something on. Okay, does this check off the fact that I still want to be thought of as a professional? That doesn't mean that you have to look provincial. Just be aware. Affiliations. This can be a tough one. We're going into an election year, and we're in a country right now that is fairly divisive. It's very important that your students feel that they are in a safe environment where they don't have to worry about what your affiliation is and how it affects them. First of all, going into an election year, you should just know we're not allowed to push for a candidate during school hours or on school property. Our views should not affect students' learning. We should be encouraging, especially in the middle school and high school, different views, diversity of thought. But our views and our thoughts should not be told to the students. And be aware of even facial expressions. A student can catch a raised eyebrow that happens like that quickly. And off they go home and over dinner with their family. Well, I can tell Mr. Smith doesn't like so-and-so because when Johnny said something about that candidate in a classroom discussion, I could see Mr. Smith's eyebrow. So I already know. We live in a very diverse county. Our true beliefs should not be imposed on our students. So please be aware of that. Church affiliations. You may have a student, if you attend a church, who says, wow, I saw you at church on Sunday. All you have to do is say, what a great day it was. We don't have to get into discussions about what happened at church because we don't know what other students what their affiliations are. So be aware of some of these landmines that can happen. And just, it doesn't have to be a negative. It's just important to be aware. All right, so here we go with what to wear. And the bottom line always is, if you want to be treated like a professional, you'll look like one. That's simple. If you want to be treated like one, you look like one. Now, does that mean you have to go out and spend a ton of money? Absolutely not. Most of us get a Friday shirt from the school. So you wear the school shirt with jeans, especially if you get a jeans day, that are appropriate, not full of holes and gross. So now you're really down to 4 days that you just have to find professional clothing. And all you need are 4 outfits and rotate them. But the bottom line is you just want to be professional. You have to distinguish yourself from the students, especially if you are a brand new teacher and you are teaching 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. You don't want to look like a student. You have to look professional. I've seen younger male teachers coming into the profession. They wore a tie every day at their first couple of years. It distinguished them. They looked professional. They felt like they taught better. Just be aware of that. Now, if we look at some of these outfits, on the right, you are going to see a gentleman with the chest hairs hanging out, the chains, clearly not professional. These young ladies, I wish I could tell you, wow, no, who would wear that? I've seen them. The hot pink tank top with the white mini skirt, seen that in a school. The black tank top, jean shorts, I've seen that on a field trip. Be aware. Those are not professional looking outfits. On the left, more professional. Just do that mirror check before you leave. You want to be treated like a professional, you look like one. Social media. We're going to get started with this one because this can be a big one. I do kind of want to go back a little bit to the clothing, and I just want to touch base. You may see in your schools some veteran teachers who may not look like what you would think is professional. Don't succumb to that. Keep your standards high, and because you're in a different place. We're keeping your standards high. So that's that on that one. So I just wanted to just put that little bit out there. Let's go to social media. All right, make sure all the accounts are set to private. We have parents, students who like to stalk. That's the bottom line. They're going to try to find out who is with their student all day. So if your account's not set to private, all accounts, they can get into your personal life and find out more about you. No social media during school hours. We have had teachers in the past who have posted comments on our local news sites, social media, not always a positive, and have had repercussions due to that. Feel free, if you absolutely need to, respond on your own time, on your own device, but always know that there may be, it's social media, that if you post something that is controversial, always know that there could be issues that arise due to that. Do not friend or follow a student. I always told my students, if you really want to be friends with me, we can become friends after graduation. And by that time, they don't even remember anyways. But the point is you're not friends with them. Don't friend their families, don't friend their parents. Try to keep your professional life separate from your personal life. Keep your profile clean. That's the picture that they see when they try to stalk you. So, and get more information from you. So you want that one clean. You don't want a picture of you doing shots with a big Budweiser. You know, just professional, nice picture. Don't affiliate yourself with your school on your personal profile. You can, but just be aware that this is a way that parents can and students can find a back way in to get more information about you. So just be aware of that. Screenshots can last forever on Snapchat, TikTok. We have a lot of teachers getting involved with TikTok now as well. It is fun. It can be a time consumer, can't it? So just, you know, be aware that even on TikTok, that you are remaining how you would want to be seen professionally. Don't mention your school in posts, especially if it's negative. For example, if you have a great reading program going on at your school, that's a different thing where you want to promote it, but just watch that there's no negatives there about your school. Never, ever complain about your job, your administrators, colleagues online. I know this seems like, wow, who wouldn't know this? But we've had it happen. And I just don't want you to get in hot water that way. And then lastly, never, ever post pictures of your students. Just, it's a never. You can block them out, like you can do block out their faces if you're doing a reading program, you're trying to show the students reading, that's fine, but just be really aware that no personal information of a student can get out there. Okay, now we're going on to email etiquette. You got 24 hours to answer. Now, keep that in mind. If you are brand new to the teaching profession, you will never have seen as many emails as you're about to get in your life. Just know that. And it can be overwhelming. If you are new to Brevard, you've been a veteran teacher before, you know what this is like. We get a lot of email. One of the things right out of the gate, what you should do, if you have not done this ever before, are creating folders in your Outlook. You don't want to have to keep going back to the same email thinking, gosh, did I answer that? Did I not? Either read it, deal with it, delete it, or file it. Respond, take care of it though so they don't build up, because I promise you, when you open up your Outlook and you see 197 emails that need to be addressed and you can't remember which one's which and what, that's where you're going to start to feel like you're losing it. Take care of them quickly. Parents, you want to email within 24 hours. Administrators, within 24 hours. Just designate part of your time to taking care of those emails. Don't put a student's name in an email. One of the things that we have is we follow the Sunshine State laws here. Our emails can be pulled by the district. There can be a records request of our email. So you want to make sure that you're not putting any information in there that could be pulled for and hurt a FERPA violation. Take care of a FERPA violation. First initial, last name, first name, last initial. You just don't want anything that could compromise a student's personal information in an email. Concise and to the point. We have all gotten those emails where on and on and on and on. Just in your emails, make sure you are to the point, concise. People love bullets. Just get to the point. Answer all the questions. This is one of our biggest complaints from parents. I sent a teacher an email with 3 questions and she only answered 1. Look for the 3 questions, answer those, concise and to the point. This one. Now, nothing shoots credibility faster than not hitting grammar, spelling, and punctuation correctly. If you don't know the difference between your twos, and twos, there's, this is not the time to figure it out. Make sure you know the grammar perfectly before you send it, that it is appropriate, because quickly an email with that incorrect information will be sent to another parent, to their student, and your credibility is shot down within seconds. So be aware that that needs to be taken care of. Proper headings and closings. Dear Mr. Smith, sincerely, your name. Thank you so much for your email. Just make sure that you are using proper headings and closings. You don't want to start out an email with yo. So just proper. We should know this one by now, not all caps. If you've never done a reply all, you're only going to do it once. Make sure when you are looking up at reply, it is reply. That can come back to haunt you if you do a reply all. And this should be it for every email. Reread before sending. If you have an email that could possibly feel argumentative or negative, have your colleague read it. Have your mentor read it. If you can't meet with a parent to discuss something that might feel challenging or negative, even if it's super constructive, because it's always about what the student's needs are, where you can read the tone, you can see their facial expressions, pick up the phone. Document what the discussion was, the date and the time. The last way of communicating, although it's the easiest, is an email, but this is where miscommunication can really happen. You can't read tone and emotion in an email. You can't see the response. So if you have to send an email that is regarding something that could be very emotional, make sure you have somebody reread it with you before you send it. Never send an email in anger. Take a walk. Wait an hour. Wait overnight before you send it. Okay. School hierarchy, teacher's lounge, and those verbal temptations. Your principal is your boss. Bottom line. You may not like your principal, although that's rare. Most people like their principals. But the principal is your boss. I've worked with teachers who feel like they're equal to their principal. You're not equal to your principal. You're here, your principal's here. Many times the principal is told what to do from the district level, and they may not even agree with it either. They're not going to share that with you. They're doing what they're told to do. We need to listen to what the principal is telling us to do. They may not tell us why all the time, because there's a bigger picture. Sometimes things happen in an emergency. Sometimes things happen quickly. We need to listen to what the boss says. Bottom line. Your boss also may be super friendly. That doesn't mean we're friends. That doesn't mean we go into their office, kick up our feet on their desks, and start talking about what we did on Friday night. If they open up that door to you, that's awesome. But just know that there is a line there. All right, Teacher's Lounge people. If you are new to the teaching profession, read the room when you walk in to the Teacher's Lounge where you're going to have lunch. You could have a teacher who has been in that school for 30 years. She's got her seat where she sits. She has her rack in the refrigerator where her lunch always goes. It's just what is. You may be there 30 years from now. Read the room. If you sit in her chair, just know that this might throw off the dynamics. You may meet your best friend in that Teacher's Lounge. Chances are, though, it can be a place where there might be some negative energy. Gossip, talking about students. That doesn't mean it always happens. I'm just telling you it can happen. Be aware. You don't want to get sucked into that environment. What you can do, and you don't even have to feel guilty about it, is say, I'm going to eat in here one day a week. And then don't pick the day, but just, it could be a Monday, it could be a Thursday. Feel free, if you need to get some brain space, to eat in your classroom. You might turn the lights off, get some grounding there, check out the news, answer a couple text messages, whatever you need to do to get ready for the second half of the day, do it and feel okay with that. You have a chance to bond with your colleagues in the hallway. It could be during recess. It could be before school, after school. Don't feel obligated if that Teacher's Lounge is not the positive place you need in order to bring your A game in the second half of the day. Again, you could meet your best friend there, though. So just read that room. All right, verbal concerns. We've had teachers who will vent to students when they're very, the back's against the wall. They are done. They are exhausted. Be aware. Turn around. Take a deep breath. Look at the wall. You can do this for the wall, but good face to the students. Whatever leaves your mouth, that's out there. I have heard some language that if it was face-to-face right now, I would share some stories. But I don't want that for you. Take a deep breath. Have the whole class take a deep breath. Just don't say anything you will regret. That being said, normally during this presentation, this is where we get to have that discussion, the back and forth, little stories. I don't have that with you right now. Wish I did. I really hope to see you throughout the schools as I visit them If you have any questions at all about anything that we've talked about, shout out to me. I can give you my work number. It is 321-508-7116. 321-508-7116. Again, I'm Bridget Reed. You can also reach me at Reed, R-E-E-D, Bridget, B-R-I-D-G-E-T, at brevardschools.org. In the meantime, I am so happy you are with us. I'm thrilled for this school year. I know you're going to get it after it and have a wonderful year. And we are here at the district to support you. Take care.